We begin tonight with gun violence in the Rose City. Thank you for joining us. I'm Blair Best. It's turning into another violent weekend. Portland police are investigating a shooting in North Portland that sent one person to the hospital. There are few details, but here's what we know so far. A 25-year-old man was shot on North Fessenden yesterday evening, just before 9 o'clock. He is seriously injured and was taken to the hospital. Police have not made any arrests. But police have made several gun arrests in the past few days. The first happened on Friday on Southeast 84th and Powell when officers tried to make a traffic stop. The car sped off and got onto I-205. It then crashed into a field and 3 people ran out. Police were able to arrest them. The driver, James Schuster, was charged with unlawful possession of firearm and reckless driving. The other passenger, Ray Roofs, was charged with felon in possession of a firearm. And a 15-year-old passenger was also charged with unlawful possession of a firearm. And on Saturday evening, officers arrested 24-year-old Mohammed Wahab for unlawful use of a weapon. Now that happened on Southeast 22nd in Gladstone. A caller reported shots fired and seeing 2 people take off in a car. Police were able to find the car and arrested both the driver and the passenger. Now officers were able to determine that the passenger was the shooter. He's now charged with felon in possession of a firearm and unlawful use of a weapon. Well, 2 teens are in custody tonight after attempting to steal cars from drivers on the road. It's a setup that we've reported on before. Police say the teens would flag down drivers by telling them that their cars were leaking fluid. And if a driver stopped, one of the suspects would then attempt to steal the car. In the latest incident, the teens were able to steal a 2014 Chevy Cruze from a woman. Police used a drone to track down the car and a canine to find the suspects inside a home. During the arrest, police also found 3 loaded guns and ammo. Now, both teens are in a juvenile detention hall facing several charges, including burglary. Well, the Marion County Sheriff's Department is investigating a shooting that left 1 person injured near Woodburn last night. Deputies responded to shots fired just after 11:30 p.m. on Front Street Northeast. A short time later, a victim was dropped off at a local hospital with a gunshot wound, but is expected to be okay. Authorities say there is no threat to the community, but anyone with information is asked to contact the Marion County Sheriff's Department. The Clark County Sheriff's Office is investigating a death at an abandoned property. There are very few details in this case, but police say a body was found on South 5th Street yesterday evening. The victim has not been identified, and their death is still under investigation. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. Well, a young woman is speaking out after her brother died in a shooting earlier this week. It happened Wednesday night in Northeast Portland. When police arrived, they found a 30-year-old Marcel Bryant and 27-year-old Deja Willingham shot to death in the Woodlawn neighborhood. Their homicides bring the total number in Portland this year to 21. No arrests have been made in this case. Alexis Montlaveria says she doesn't know what led to her brother's death.
It's really unclear, and I'm just kind of hurt that he had to go through that, and I wasn't there. I was not there to, be there with him.
The family has set up a GoFundMe to help with funeral costs. We have a link to that on our website at kgw.com. Well, the state of Washington is getting closer to banning the sale of assault weapons. Both the state Senate and House have now passed versions of a bill targeting the guns. An assault weapons ban has been proposed but failed to pass the state legislature for the past several years. Evan Watson is in the newsroom with the details. Evan?
Blair, Washington will likely become the 10th state to ban the sale of certain types of assault weapons, including guns that are most commonly used in the deadliest mass shootings.
Washington state lawmakers are set to ban the sale, transfer, and manufacture of assault weapons in the state. The Senate passed House Bill 1240 on Saturday with a 27-21 vote. Notably, this bill doesn't affect people who already own guns, like AR-15s, AK-47s, and M16s.
So I think this took that out, and it opened up the conversation so that we could focus on what we really wanted to do, which is to stop the flow of these types of weapons into the state of Washington.
State Senator Yasmin Trudeau. a Democrat who supported the bill, says this is just one step.
And no single bill is going to address gun violence at large. But we know that there is a direct correlation between mass shootings and the types of weapons that are being banned under this bill.
Bills to ban automatic or semi-automatic guns have failed to pass in Washington for years. Republicans have blamed mental health for mass shootings and said the ban would restrict gun access for legal and responsible gun owners.
The legislators that I work with do exemplify responsible gun ownership. I think that there are a lot of people that do. But again, we don't legislate for those with the best behavior. We legislate for the worst behavior. So that is because we want to protect our community at large.
Trudeau says this bill is moving forward because it's not focused on current gun possession, but future sales and transfers. She also says Democrats have stronger majorities in both chambers, and the support for an assault weapons ban is mounting with the frequency of mass shootings.
It's the urgency, and it's the fact that we've got the political support and political will.
The bill has exemptions for law enforcement agencies and military members. If passed, it's expected to be challenged in court.
We make determinations all the time on balance with public safety. So it's not just about, well, I want this, so I should get it. It's like, what are we allowing people to do that also impact their neighbor? Because we don't live in the wild, wild west. We don't live independent from our community. We live in communities with everybody else. My neighbor is just as important as I am.
Because the House already passed a version of this bill and the Senate did yesterday, it's primed to move forward that this ban will take place. The bill needs final approval from the House of Representatives and Governor Jay Inslee, who said he will support it. So there's a strong indication this law is going to become law. This bill will become law with immediate effect. The Washington legislative session ends on April 23rd. Blair?
Evan, thank you. Well, let's check in with Joe Ranieri on the weather. And Joe, it's pretty rainy out there.
Yeah, and I do have 70s on the horizon.
Ooh.
The horizon doesn't arrive until later part of next weekend. In between the now and then, though, Blair, we are going to be seeing a copious amount of rain is a good way to describe it. We have another atmospheric river. It's something we have been talking about for months, and really the last few weeks or so, it's been parts of California, not so much Oregon. Well, now it's aimed at us, and this is what we're going to be looking at the rest of your Sunday and into tomorrow as well. Now, the rainfall amounts, heaviest amounts, will be falling basically tonight and into tomorrow. As we look at the weather headlines, heavy rain moves in here just the next 12 to 18 hours or so. How much are we looking at? Anywhere from to a half of an inch to an inch of rain. Now, that's expected to fall between now and, let's say, lunchtime tomorrow and the early part of the afternoon on Monday. We will see some drier weather, but we're going to have to wait until the later part of the week. Snow levels also drop late Monday night and into Tuesday night, too, down about 1,500 feet. And then by the end of the week, we'll start to see some sunny and warmer conditions. But as we put Futurecast in motion, just prepared for some heavy rain over the next several hours, and it's going to continue all day Monday, all Monday night, and into Tuesday as well. I'll talk more about when things will start to improve for us. That's coming up in about a few minutes from now.
All right, Joe, sounds good. Well, with wildfire season still months away, there's an effort happening now to reduce our risk of wildfire smoke. An $800,000 federal grant will go toward launching a wildfire smoke research and practice center at the University of Oregon. Tim Gordon explains what it will do.
The length and severity of fire seasons has been growing in Oregon, along with the effect the smoke has on humans. How to mitigate the damage is a big job taken on by many across the state. Now there will be a research hub based at the University of Oregon that will work as a center for finding and implementing solutions.
We know fire's not going away, and so how do we adapt to this new reality of wildfire smoke?
U of O research professor Cass Mosley says the center will work on a variety of fronts to answer the adaptation question. And it's happening thanks to both of Oregon's U.S. senators, Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley, who secured the $800,000 in funding from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Mosley says managing the health effects of wildfire smoke and smoke from prescribed burns used to manage the risk now has a home for everyone involved.
Whether it's individuals or households or air quality folks or health people.
Whether it is finding new ways to better protect homes from smoke infiltration, more efficiently communicating with people to educate or in emergency situations, or developing community action plans unique to different parts of Oregon, it is all on the table. Now with a central place at the U of O for the fight against wildfire smoke.
This is an all hands on deck kind of problem, and so we really want to bring diverse folks together and be the facilitator and help accelerate the extent to which people are already coming together to try to solve these issues.
Tim Gordon, KGW News.